number 3. Number 2 is up on Twitch, and number 1 is a secret still. Because some people,
It's in the vault.
it's in the vault because people are scared. Go to church if you're scared, Mike.
I need to go back and watch that. I got a little drunk by the end of that.
All right.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Number 3, our guest is Chris Morena. Chris, I know from the Carney life, jumping dirt bikes, and he was jumping cars. We met at Myrtle Beach Speedway, actually, for, what did they call it?
I don't remember what year it was. They called it Wheels of Destruction.
Wheels of Destruction, that's what it
Wheels
was.
of Destruction, 2-hour show, bus racing, motorcycle jumps, car crashes, they had street bikes. And then Clint would sleep 3/4 of the show. We'd wake him up. He'd be up. He'd already have his gear on. He'd start his bike. He'd do 3 jumps. He'd park his bike. And I'd
Chris was so mad. Because
I'm jealous. This is me being jealous.
He would show up. So we'll introduce the others. The bottom, which way am I looking at? Bottom right is Henry. Everybody should know by now. Not really. It's number 3. They don't even know who the fuck I am. And Mike, Mike at the bottom left. Yeah. So they, Chris would jump. Like he would show up early. So Chris does car stunts for people that don't know. He crashes cars, jumps cars, spins them around, drives on 2 wheels. So he gets like all these junker cars, and he's there for like a day early, like cutting these cars apart and shit, pulling windows out. I can pull up videos too. Pulling windows out, and I drive in a ramp truck and just flip it out in like 20 minutes, and all my shit's set up, and then I like take a nap in the truck, and then I would come out and just ride.
It's me 2 days of prep, risking your life. Then I did I told that track, I said, I'll help out. I'll do 4 or 5 stunts. Clint's there, sitting pretty, doing a couple jumps. He knew his business. See, I was just jealous. But you know what? I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm still learning. I'm like, this guy's good. He gets it. He's got his little puppy. The dogs run around. I'm sweating, running from bus racing to like a car crash. And I'm looking at him. He's yawning, smoking a cigarette, just putting his pants on.
I was tired from watching Chris.
All that sleeping got you tired.
I did. We've done a little bit of. Clint told us about you, so I did a little research on you. And I have to say, Chris, I'm really excited to have you on because watching some of your shit is like, it's the way I think I drive on my way home from work. Half in the bag, but it is like watching you with the vans and then the limo. I watch you do that giant fucking jump in a stretch limo. I mean, it is so impressive. Last time we were watching, my hands were sweating. Watching some of your shit. But do you actually you build the cars? You tweak them? Like I was asking Clinton, so I said, let me just ask you. Why am I asking him?
Basically, what it is in my contract, I ask for like mid to full size cars, 4-door. They got to do 55 miles an hour and faster. And I get there 2 days prior to the show, and I'll gut all the cars. I'll gut the seats, the glass, and then I put it in my own roll cage. It's a NASCAR spec tubing. You can actually take out these roll cages. We call them like a pod. So it's not a full structure of the cars. There's almost no welding. So it's kind of just been done to where it's an easy in and out. I don't have to spend a lot of time there and a lot of like materials. But again, these car jumps, I mean, everyone's different. It's one of those things where I see what you're doing now. So every stunt is different. They always land different. Every speedway gives me different cars. Sometimes you have to be half a mechanic. And I mean, the limo jump here, I cracked a couple ribs on this one.
Wow, did you?
Oh, yeah, I did. You know what? And I mean, again, after 20 years of crashing cars, over 800 cars, I really get to say, like, I've been hurt, but.
Yeah. And this is a world record, right, Chris?
It's a world record, limo jump. That was like 100 and something, 160 feet.
Yeah.
So, and that was just fun. This one, I pooped myself. Yeah, that's when you almost think you're going a little too far.
That was gnarly.
The minivan, I broke my hand on this one.
I was there helping with that.
Yeah, you see, I went a little too far. Again, every jump's different. I thought I had it planned out, and I didn't. And kept going and I hit the ground. But the cage proved what it does, and I was fine. I walked away, a little dizzy. And
Is there a procedure every time? Like every time, as soon as you take off, I mean, are you like grabbing on to a certain thing
no, it's one
and
of those
just bracing, or is this
it's about the speed? The weight of the car doesn't matter, and all the suspension's different. Like these cars are clapped out; they're done.
But he
And
means
yeah,
you
it's a-
inside. Inside. Do you
Yeah, pieces of crap.
inside? Do you grab your harness
I,
or?
what it is, I tighten the crap out of my belts, but I kind of hold on to the wheel. And some stunt guys don't. Everyone's got their own little deal, but doing it a bunch, because you could break your thumbs if you have the wheel on here. You kind of snap everything back. So and you'd be surprised when I watch the in-car camera slow motion. Your belts stretch when you go 65 miles an hour to zero and you hit a car. Your body and I have kind of hit the steering wheel on occasion by not tightening too much, but you got to just be uncomfortable in the car. Safety's first. We get away with it for what we do, and the team I have that help out. But I kind of hold on to the wheel, and I just prep it to where I'm so tight in there with the Hans device. I have pads on. I have a mouth guard in. I'm just all done up. But
now, when you set up for these shows, do you practice? You go off of it with a junker or something first, or is that a boom? Your first time doing it out the gate?
First time doing it, and same thing. It's funny because I just drove monster trucks a couple of years ago. I worked for a monster truck show, and then the promoter goes, "Listen, you're going to race tonight, but you're not going to practice driving monster trucks. If you're going to fuck up, you're going to do it in front of people. Because if you damage the truck, they're paying tickets to watch that. So you have to just go. You have to get. It's like." Listen, but it's the most loneliest place to be when you're strapped into a car and you see the ramp and you're looking up at the ramp and you're like, where am I going? And you're looking down at your speedometer. You can't just veer off the ramp. I just want to drive out the speedway and go home. You have to actually jump the fucking car. You signed up for it. So, you never get used to that, obviously. But
how many jumps do you think you have? Or do you know you have?
Sorry.
How many jumps do you have?
Honestly, I don't know. 1,000.
Over 1,000 or more.
Yeah. Some of these are a couple hundred of these big ones you're watching. Some of them are just 40-foot. I call them dive bomber thrill show crashes. When I traveled from 96 to 04, we did several crashes a week. So it just accumulated over the years. I don't even know. I couldn't.
When was the first time you ever took a car and just fucking did this?
Probably the mid 90s. 95. 95.
This is the show we were on together.
I started training in 93. Oh, this is the show that Clint was probably snoring.
I was napping inside right now.
This is like the opening stunt. You can see those cars. I remember that. That's funny. And yeah, a buddy of mine actually is driving that car. That was my pickup, but he's driving, and then I'll stand on the side of it later on. Now, this is a half-mile speedway, Wheels of Destruction, Myrtle Beach Speedway, and there was a bunch, and it actually was a fun show because everybody was professional back then. They hired different groups to perform, and they put together an hour-and-a-half show. And then later on, it kind of went downward spiral big time. But we had a good time doing it. So, you're going to see now, that's my buddy. Now I'm in the BMW coming, and this might not be the video, but it breaks. So this is my daily driver, okay? This BMW right here, I drove in Orlando. It's street legal. I drove it to Disney every day. And I knew it can get on two wheels, and it was good. But during one of the shows, it actually collapsed. The front wheels collapsed on it. Yeah, so it was a kind of
like the rim broke.
Rim broke. It was a whole bunch of I didn't roll it, which was good. People always ask, how do you learn that? Because you go to kind of roll a car to learn it. The point of balance. Now we're making a left-hand turn. Yeah, you almost have to go over the point of balance just to kind of save it.
So that BMW is your driving car. There's nothing special about that car.
No, I probably drove it there to the track.
Like that. On two wheels.
I will say the rear gears are welded together. Yeah, it's kind of like posi traction, like a drift car. You can put in a Detroit locker where I just welded the gears together. Same with the S10 pickup truck. That blue pickup is a 4-cylinder 2003 Chevy S10. Nothing's done to the suspension, but the rear gears are welded so it just can go on. So the top tire doesn't just spin, obviously.
Wow.
Crazy.
Funny
That's
videos,
awesome.
yeah. But and you know what's funny? This has been done for over 50 years, and it's just like what Clint used to do as far as the motorcycle jumping and everything. People want to see it. They'll pay the money. It's performing and doing something like silly that they never see. They see it. They never see it in person. They see it in the movies. They see it on TV, and then they take photos. And the kids they're like, they think my BMW's got weights in it. They think there's some kind of outrigger they don't see. So right now we're changing the tire on that car. My buddy Tim is going to say some words on the microphone. We get back in, and then I stand outside that S10. He's going to drive it to get on two wheels. In the backstretch, I'll get out, and I'll stand outside the car, which was another stunt in itself, because I buy those tires used, $25 in Orlando when I lived down there. And there's times where we've blown a tire, and I had to get back into the car quickly. You'll see in a minute what it's about, but
Didn't
again,
he?
the show's different. You never know. You have to be on your toes.
Didn't Tim warn you one time?
Sorry?
Didn't Tim warn you? He was like, "Yo, the tire's about to blow."
Yeah, he heard it. He heard it hissing. It was making a hissing sound, and he get in. Okay, it's not gonna be this one. I don't know if we have that one on film, but I got in the car because good thing is he's driver's side down when he drives. So when I get out of the passenger side. Other people are driver's side up, so they can't really stand that way. And you'll kind of see in a minute how it works. But again, like I still learn as I go. Every track is different. For two wheeling, I was gonna say good thing can speed it up.
So you travel the country, the world. I gotta ask you: is there groupies in this business?
There are. I mean, that's why you're talking to a 45-year-old who's never been married, has no kids.
Yeah.
The problem was I was in my 20s and I traveled a bunch, and I was gone for 4 months. Who wanted to date a guy who was gone from May to October for 9 years? And then in 2004, I ended up working for Disney for a Disney show.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never around. I was a fly-by-night guy. I went to the next job, and it wasn't really consistent. But there were a couple of states, couple of towns, couple of fairs that you might have met somebody. You went back there year after year, and they got divorced, and they kept wanting to see you year after year. So.
No, I mean that's what we talk about here. We just talk about people that don't live the 9 to 5, that make money on the road, make money doing different things. Henry was a professional DJ for a while.
That's awesome.
And we've seen the life on the road, and it's funny how there's just niches in every aspect of life,
Dude, that's nuts.
It's kind of, but you know what, Henry? Now the funny thing is, you're watching it now. You'll pay $10 to bring your family to go see a show like that.
Oh, 100%.
Silly shit, bro. It's something that people don't see.
Yeah.
But it'll go on forever. It's just, but it's a talent, my buddy. I'm putting my life in his hands right there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So here's a question, actually. So what was like what was the original intention? Like when you were younger, did you want to be a stuntman or a race car driver or in movies? You know what I'm saying? Like what was the inspiration for this, and like how did it lead into you doing this basically like for a living all the time?
Sure. The short story would be I was born in '74, but I was an '80s kid watching TV. Fall Guy.
Nice.
Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider, 18. So it wasn't the Kardashians, it wasn't reality TV shows. These were guys who were ground pounders. They were car guys. They were horseback riders. They were cowboys. They would fight, gunfire. They would fight bar fights. So I kind of I learned that, these aren't the actors. These stunt guys doing this. Someone else is in the background. I never wanted to be in front of the camera. So someone else was taking the hits for them, and they were making a living doing it. So I figured it was a niche. And again, I was way young when I kind of was like, that seems like kind of a cool idea, And I fell into cars later on for doing it. I didn't ride motorcycles as a kid. I'm a street bike rider, but as Clinton knows, you kind of get hurt riding bikes anyway. So that's a tough call. With age, you get a cage, as they say.
That's right.
But honestly, people ask me all the time, how'd you get into that? And I just found a training facility in '94 in Connecticut. I used to go there on the weekends, and I learned how to do high falls and fire burns and fighting and car driving. And I did low budget movies, and then kind of just you suffer for a while, and you learn and you work day jobs, and then you try to do what your passion is, and then. But it was really a matter of what I saw on TV and being a kid that rode his bicycle outside. I competed in freestyle. I rollerbladed. I ice hockey. So yeah, it was one of those.
But you got yourself into some high budget films as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Different era back then.
But yeah, I saw that you were in quite a few films. And how was that? As you got, I mean,
it's, what it is. You have to take it for what it's worth, because you could be on a film for 2, 3, 4 months, and then a buddy of mine put it well in the business. He goes, well, the job is to get the next job. So you can't sit comfortable. You're union, and you can have these jobs and be on set, and you make good pay. Then you make stunt adjustments. You can crash a car, make it a couple extra grand just for doing that, plus your daily wages. But you're going to be like, oh, that movie's going to stop filming. That TV show is going to stop, and you have an off season. So it's one of those things where once you're on, it's a matter of networking and proving yourself and meeting stunt coordinators. And then what you're watching is the live stuff. So I come from a live show, and I kind of book my own stuff. So I'm busy June, July, October, traveling, all of the summer, just traveling and doing other stunts. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's great.
I find a niche. It's, honestly, because I know stunt guys who are waiting for the call. And then when I was younger, I go, I'll just book myself. And I come from a live show. And what you see, other people have demo derbies. Well, they want a couple of different things besides the monster trucks to demo derbies. So they'll hire us to do a couple of car stunts and whatnot. But but you're always learning, always progressing, always trying to figure out the new thing to do with car stunts, or like Clint will tell you, the motorcycle stunts, or what you guys were talking about. But
that's why I ran through the firewall on the bike, because of Chris.
Yeah, I'm also Henry doing DJ thing. That's a badass deal. Honestly, I'm sure you still have your
fun, man. Spinning records is a good time. It's a good time for sure. Oh yeah. See, that's the funny thing. I never got into that side of it. It was always, Mike can tell you, it was always like, dirty, dingy clubs and fucking shitholes in New York and like the tunnel and Mike we're talking about, he's like, oh, this would be cool, DJ and like playing poolside and like, yeah, no, like,
oh, we never made it that far, man.
We come from
the early '90s,
drum and bass shit and
the crowd were
ravers and shit from like the late '90s, but that's what it materialized into, which would be nice if we were playing the fucking pool and like.
I watched MTV Spring Break.
Yeah, I'm sure you have to work your way up to that. You're right.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
The crowds were bigger than half those pools, which was awesome. Yeah. But we cashed out before the pool scene.
Oh, okay.
We cashed out, what was it? 2005 was when we took a break.
Basically, yeah.
So that's right around when that scene popped up.
No wonder.
But yeah, the crowds were there. I mean, we would have 15,000, 20,000 people sometimes in warehouses, though, underground type shit.
But you got the girls coming up to ask you if you can play their favorite songs. Yeah, with their
like this, like, what? Oh, totally. I'll put that on next.
Yeah, I'm sure, exactly.
It's interesting. I mean, it's just, I always said we were carnies, and then that's where kind of where the name came from. And Clint was like, well, I kind of was a carny. And it's funny because we always said that we were that because we just traveled, and that's how we made our living. We never really had a home, or we were in a hotel for a little bit and went from place to place. And I mean, even to this day, I own a bar, and it's the same type of gig. I mean, I'm still in the same place, but I'm just a glorified carny now. I stay, I don't move, but it's still the same shit. And we just love talking to people that don't have the 9 to 5. And there's so many people in this country that are not trapped in a cubicle. And I just really appreciate talking to people like that, because it's just, you found what you love, you found something different, and you're making it, and obviously you made a living out of it, and it's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, it's different. And again, the sad thing is, so I dated a teacher, And summers are her big getaways. Everything's planned in the summer. Let's take the kids somewhere. Weekends are her. I'm free. Let's do something. I'm like, no, I make money weekends. People like you bring your kids to shows that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Summertime, I'm booked. I'm trying to make. Then come like September, October, November. I'm like free. I'm like, let's hang out. Let's do something. Now she's the day job girl. So yeah, I sympathize with that, but I just didn't fall into that category. And I knew back in the day I couldn't have been a desk person in general. My ADD would have kicked in. I just wouldn't have.
I think that's one thing we all share, right? Is that if you want to call it ADD or you want to call it.
It's just a non-focus BS. It's the regimented, just there, and for not just doing it, but doing it for like 30 years, doing it for years. None of us, we just talked about, if you're not doing the DJ thing anymore, I'm like, the stunt thing, I do it, and I switch on and off, and I do other things, and the bar thing you do now, maybe you'll sell that by another bar, and so it's just even Clint jumping the bikes, you knew you couldn't have done that in your 40s and 50s, you kind of make that and progress with it, but it's not going to be a regimen. And again, let me tell you something, the funny thing is, now that I'm 45, my friends who are policemen, who are retiring this year, I'm like, oh my! Not even a word in my vocabulary.
Yeah.
Well, that's the downside of his life. That's definitely where you got to keep hustling, right? You got to keep grinding. You kind of got to keep moving.
Yep.
And I kind of think it adds the excitement of people like us, because we don't have those 401ks, we don't have those retired type jobs. We got to keep grinding, keep moving, and keep innovating. I mean, hey, that's why we're starting a podcast. I turned my restaurant into half of a comedy club. That's where I met this fucking guy.
Awesome, go on.
Yeah. So it's we just got to all keep moving and keep grinding, and obviously we're in a weird time right now.
Especially for what pretty much all of us do.
What's that?
I said pretty much for what all of us do at this point. It's like all shit.
I think the whole world, but especially us.
Well,
especially all of us, right? Because we don't know if people are going to be. We don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
I mean, I think people are going to be gun shy coming out of this. To say that on May 1st or whatever they lift the thing and then everybody charges out, I think is a silly.
Yeah, I think that's full of shit. Too.
Silly.
I'm just gonna start licking strangers.
Yeah, right.
Give me your fucking face,
Yeah, I think that's a false sense of hope to say that.
It's a little aggressive, even minus a virus, Henry.
Say again?
That's slightly aggressive, even without a virus.
Oh, that's like a normal Tuesday, so maybe I'll tone it down a little bit. But.
I don't know if we're going to start talking about work right now, but because Henry also works in the club and Clint is a regular there. But just while we're on the topic, I was starting to think, guys, are we going to shrink the attendance to half the size? I don't know. Even with you, Chris, for these big crowds, are they going to shrink the crowds?
You're right.
That going to be the new world, and then you're going to pay a little bit more, which would suck because I love to cater to the blue collar guy. I don't like that's why I always had places that serve wings and ribs and fries and beer. That's my industry is the blue collar guy. We're gonna cut that person out? Are we gonna have to price them out? Is that if we have to cut the club in half, right, guys? We got 90 seats, 100. I guess we shouldn't be saying on air, but 100 seats. We're gonna cut to 50. But then if we cut to 50, now we got to charge. We never went above $20. No matter how big of a comic we got. What are we gonna charge now? 40? I mean, we got.
I saw No Filter Paul go 25.
25? Well, No Filter Paul shows, sure, 25. But even the big comics, we never have had, big. We've had decent sized names, and we never gone really over $20. Actually, that's not true. Artie Lang, we did 30 once, but regardless.
I thought about, what it is, even baseball stadiums, the fact that the seats are so close at any stadium, even the shows that I perform at, the comedy shows. What do you do now? Now the next regulation is you have to skip 2 seats and have a seat. Skip 2 seats, have a seat, and you're right. That goes to 50%. But are people going to get back to where it was, where you're allowed to just be elbow to elbow in line to buy a hot dog? It's just. I think the fear will be there with people, depending on the generation. And it's unfortunate that people are growing up. The kids are growing up around this. Where we're just like, man. You know, I go to Walmart and I wash my hands after, and I'm wearing gloves, like looking around, but it's not a natural thing. I'm not exactly masked up. I'm out to the max, you know, for what it is.
I think it's good for these kids. They need to learn some respect of nature and whatever.
I couldn't agree more. It's actually funny because it's like they're if you look at a kid that's been in the last like 10 years or so, they've grown up with nothing but like a phone in their hand or an iPad or
Yeah.
fucking this and that and a Nintendo system. And now it's like, you know, go do, I don't know. It's time to go back out and be with people and this and that.
Yeah, my kids have been outside. I mean, I live in bear country. I live in where I live in Rockaway is the highest densely with black bears in the world is where we're at. And so normally I'd be a little helicopter parent-ish with my kids in the backyard. With this fucking virus thing, I'm like, go outside. Outside, they're in the backyard. I'm like, we have like the den is behind us where they wake up. I'm like, go outside. When you see a bear, I have every window open. I don't care, just scream. And I'm watching them. But it's good because they're doing, you know, they're playing, they're doing shit that we all did as kids. And I'm talking to my kids more than ever. And it's, you know, what's really sad. My daughter said to me, I wish I grew up in a time when you were a kid. I said, what do you mean? She goes, I don't know. You said when you were my age, she's 8, you used to ride your bike to 7-Eleven. You used to do this, you used to do that. You never let me. And I'm like, she's fucking right. Like, what the fuck? And that's probably more of us.
Is it, or is it
us, me, I don't know if
society?
anyone else has kids, but me being scared. We're so scared. What are we fucking so scared of? My father says, yeah, you guys are scared because you have the fucking internet and you just see everything. You don't think there was child molesters? You don't think there was fucking fucked up shit going on? They were there. You didn't see it every 2 seconds.
He knew you were an ugly kid, so he wasn't worried.
Yeah, I was 1,000%.
But you're right. You're right. We grew up on the fact that like your neighbor's mother would yell dinner time to get them back in the house, you know, or the street lights would come on. You had to ride your BMX bike back, you know, one of those things where they're not texting your friend's mother about where you are. It was just a kind of, but the same criminals were roaming the street.
They were.
Absolutely. Or it was just we got dirty more, you know, we weren't as helicopter-ish as you were saying. That's the funny thing. And I'd be the same way. If I had kids, I'd be like, oh, I hope they're not like me, you know, like breaking bones, trying to learn stuff in the what I mean is one of those things you couldn't get us inside. So nowadays, like I was agreeing with you guys that it's great to get the kids outside.
Exactly.
It is
crazy.
It is, and it's making me rethink. It's making me rethink a lot of shit because I'm always scared my kids are going to end up like the way I was, and then now I'm starting to think like, was that really that bad? Is it really that bad? I was always and Chris, I was just telling them about when the lights went, when the street light went on. It meant we would go. And they're like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Yeah." And then Mrs. DeCaro would be screaming. She'd take a pot with a pan and hit it. And once you heard that, you knew get in. And then I started telling her even more about the fucking neighbor who sometimes would come out with the belt and just start whipping it at everyone. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go that far with her and let her know what it was like. But you know, maybe it wasn't so fucked up back then. I don't know. Was it more fucked up? It's like, and you try to bubble, and now we're even living in more of like us. We're living in a society now where we have gloves on and masks, and we're sterilizing ourselves from everything. It's like, what the fuck? But maybe it's a reset, you know? Maybe it's a reset for all of us and to think about what the fuck, where we've become, where we've gone to, and time to just, you know.
Sure.
I don't know, man. When we were kids, like we talked about this like a week or two ago. Like, you know, every school I was ever in, I didn't have anybody, you know, it was like everybody's parents brought cupcakes and like all kinds of stuff. And there was nobody had all these crazy allergies and like they were allergic to like the breeze and, you know, grass that's too green and whatever have you. I don't know where the hell all that shit came from.
Levy.
Out of nowhere.
Levy. I think about Levy's shit more than ever right now.
Which one?
Well, Levy, what he talks about, how we go to war. You want to go to war with Iran?
Yeah.
Not peanuts on you, motherfuckers.
It's true though, man. Like, what the fuck happened? It's, you know, it's like that's what I was saying. The newer breed of humans. It's like they're stuck inside, staring at screens, and they're allergic to everything. And
remember the dude that was like, after Levy did all that, he's like, I have a peanut allergy. And
as a chef, I used to fucking go insane with people with gluten allergies. I would fucking lose it. Like, you know, I'm talking about 10 years ago when it really started. Ask fucking Henry. about 3 years ago, I'd drink one beer, and he'd be like, "Yo, dog, what's going on?" Half my fucking ear would be blown out. I'd fucking get blotches. And I was the guy that would fucking go nuts. If you came at me, you had a fucking gluten allergy. Did this touch? Oh, did my shellfish touch the fucking wheat? Because if it does, and I'd be like, oh, fuck off, lady. And then the next thing you know, I'm fucking drinking beers, and my ears are fucking turning purple, and fucking my nose is getting bigger.
Mike's got cauliflower ear.
Yeah, from drinking a beer.
Now they have
I don't know about the gluten thing.
They have support groups about that. They have Facebook groups about that. Different types of just a generation gap.
Jesus Christ. So, I need a support group to deal with all these people that need all these support groups.
Yeah, true that.
Kind of true. You know, it's funny because the video game stores are staying open, aren't they? Saying they're a necessity.
Are you serious?
So which ones? What'd you say? What did you say?
I got it.
Video game stores.
Wait, which ones?
Like GameStop or something.
Yeah.
Oh, the GameStops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started. And they shut down the gun shops.
Yeah, that's a necessity. Fucking make more, put more out. You should be selling them on the street.
Yeah. I think I blew my fucking load on that yesterday, but yes. The good thing is that they did deem them a necessity finally, but they did try to take them away.
Okay. No, they were as of the 20th, and then now on the 22nd, as of the 22nd, they're closed. Because the employees were like, "What the fuck?"
What, gun store employees or GameStop?
No,
GameStop. Oh, GameStop. GameStop. Sorry. Yeah. Wow.
Which is fucking.
You can buy everything online.
I don't know if it's true. We should probably fact check this. But I saw like a Walmart or something where they had caution tape over certain sections that they're deeming what was it, essential and non-essential. So like the sporting good area had like fucking cross like do not enter tape. But dude, I don't know.
In where? What store was this?
It was like a Walmart or something.
Well, let me tell you, the Walmart near me, they were out of ammunition and they were out of like BB guns. I think people just wanted something to like
stick out the window.
They were badass. Like, I'll get you with my dart gun because they don't want no bullets. They're like nervous of themselves, you know, they're against it. But now they're realizing to wipe their ass, they have to shoot the perpetrator.
Yep. Yep. You know, one of my good friends, who's one of the baddest motherfuckers in New Jersey, trained some of the killers in this. You know, if I name dropped, you guys would know all the names that he's trained them. And when this first dropped, we're having these really real conversations. And I said to him, dude, silver, you can't buy silver anywhere. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, you can't buy silver. I go, that's a problem. That's a red flag. You can't even get silver. And he said, why are you looking at silver? I said, I don't know, because the currency's going to drop. We got to trade silver. He's like, motherfucker, if I got to trade my neighbor silver, that means I already killed my fucking dog and ate it. He goes, I'm fucking killing everyone on this fucking block and taking what they got. He goes, and I'm worried about your silver fucking coins. I stopped looking at silver fucking 3 weeks ago. I go, yeah, he's so right.
You got to invest in gold doubloons. I only accept doubloons in the fucking apocalypse.
Because if you were trading your silver fucking coins for toilet paper, buddy, we got bigger problems. I go, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're fucking right.
You ask if they take Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Well, this is where we'll find out if Bitcoin's for real or not.
Well,
it was meant for this situation.
Didn't the government like try to put some kind of cryptocurrency in that bill or something that they passed?
Here we go.
Didn't they?
Here we go.
Hey,
all right.
So,
yes, they want to move it over to a crypto, and once they do that, guys, we're done. Then it's going to be no cash. They're going to say the cash is dirty. If the cash is dirty, we can't use it. So we have to use
this sounds like a good setup for that.
It is. Yeah.
No, what do you mean? That's totally a thing, man. They've already said that in China.
And then we're moving to the New World Order, my friends.
Listen, China. Have you ever been to China, Chris?
No, never been to China.
Yeah.
Nope.
They are uncomfortably close just all the time. Like, no wonder why everybody fucking got sick. And then Italians are all kissing each other's fucking faces. Like, obviously, you're going to have an issue.
No, I haven't been yet.
Yo, it's so gnarly.
What about the did you guys hear about how they have that whole like social credit system?
No.
You don't know about this?
They're rude as fuck to each other. So go ahead, explain this to me.
Yeah, so they have a social credit system. So like if they say like Clint, you're a jerk off, like you're an asshole. You don't pay your fucking phone bill on time, and you didn't give your seat to an old lady. They give you a shitty fucking system of credit score, and that means like so now you go to like take a train to fucking New York City, and they're like, nope, you can't get on the train because you have a shitty credit system.
Does this register through my chip, or how do they know this?
Yeah, something probably through your eyeball or some shit. Like,
How do they know
kill a
who the
child or
fuck
some
I
shit
am?
like on an altar.
Oh, Jesus
Listen,
Christ.
listen.
Scan your chin.
Chris will know this one. Driving across states, they can't even keep driver records fucking straight. All right, you think that they're gonna be able to register who the fuck you are? Exactly. Chris knows. You're like, well, that wasn't in this state. Hopefully, they don't talk to the other state.
Kind of true. In the future, I mean, again, the funny thing is, we talk about the 80s, 90s, growing up and doing this stuff where in 20 years, sad to say, like, our kids will be like talking about how this was so easy. Oh, I stayed home. I had to wash my hands a couple times a day, but I did my homework from 8 to 9,
Yeah.
and then I played video games for 9 hours.
Yeah.
Like, it just
Yeah, I got to wake up at 9 o'clock. I had to do a couple hours on the laptop.
Yeah.
I can do whatever the fuck I want.
This
Like,
is where society transitions into online.
Yeah, and it won't be so easy to cross state lines like you were talking about. It won't be easy just to separate yourselves. Listen, you could right now. If you go into, is it Connecticut or one of the states, they stop you now and ask you what you're doing there.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, yeah, Rhode Island. It's freaky how they're allowed to do that. If you have New York, especially, that's what it is.
Just visiting.
They feel like they don't want you there. They don't want your money there. They'll kick you out of their state.
Yeah.
Like we're the epicenter, coming back east. So,
yeah, we're the dirty fucks. We always were the dirty fucks, but we are. And now it's like they really it's like before it's like you had the girl with the
Stop with the
stamp.
can.
You had a cute New York accent, so you maybe got a little extra. Now, but everyone else thought you guys were dirty. We were dirty motherfuckers when we go in their town. Now it's like the cops are like, yeah, motherfucker, you come with a license plate, we're gonna fucking lock you up. Get the fuck out of here.
I saw some.
I see New York hats. I would go all over Europe, and I was just in Australia last month performing shows. You see like the New York hat, and I'm from New York City. You put on the next. Now it's like we're in the news for the worst reason. I'm not getting laid just to say I'm from New York anymore.
No, now you're gonna scare him off. I saw a meme today that was like, "Hey, New York, nobody, like, we don't want you around or something. Just stay home and drink your magic pizza water or something."
Oh, isn't that fucking true? Everybody at least in my industry, everyone knows some jerk off that went to California and imported the water to make bagels or to make pizza. No, he's killing it, bro. He's killing it. He's got to spend fucking $30 for a fucking gallon of water, but he's killing it, man.
It is crazy that there's got to be something to that, though, because shit doesn't taste the same way. Pizza dough and bagels suck everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little too drunk right now, but there was a reason for that.
Even in Florida,
not water?
Orlando, Florida, I missed bagels, ham, egg, and cheese on a roll, delis, and pizza. And pizza, the guys would be like, no, New York style pizza.
Yeah.
Got the water, we shipped in, we got the dough. I'm like, what? You hear that nationwide, but it never. I don't know. I guess it's a thing for what it is, but they just.
Well, you know where these motherfuckers figured it out? In these coal-fire pizza places.
Yeah.
It's not the same kind of pizza that we're used to, but you still get nice crisp. And you could just coal-fire pizza anywhere, and you get it.
The thin crust, sure.
Yeah, so you could. But what you guys are talking about just regular pizza and bagels. And a big thing about bagels that is a secret that a lot of motherfuckers just don't. They just skip this step everywhere else. They don't boil them beforehand. That's a big part. Huh. In New York, New Jersey, if you don't boil your fucking bagels, no one's buying them.
Good to know.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Like if you ever go to Dunkin' Donuts and the bagel sucks, fucking terrible.
Yeah,
it's because they don't fucking boil them.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
that's why they're like hard, kind of.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck is this thing?
Well, that's got something to do with the water then too, if that's the case.
Oh shit! Mind's blown.
Boom.
Fluoride.
Fluoride. Don't stop.
We
We can't go deep every time just yet.
Chris doesn't care. Chris is like,
I don't mind. Episode
no.
3, make it worthwhile.
I mean,
So,
you don't.
let me ask you, if you don't mind, let me ask you this then. So I saw you worked with a lot of people in Hollywood. You ever see anything weird from the fucking Hollyweirds?
No, but I mean, you have actors that are standoffish, or you have actors that are over the top that are awesome. I doubled Ken Jeong, who he was in The Hangover, but I happened to be he was a mailman in Big Mama's House 3, I believe. It was filmed in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was a stunt driver for him. And then Martin Lawrence's stunt double had a jump on me. But Ken Jeong, this was even before he really became as big as he is. This was after The Hangover, but before a lot of things. He was the nicest guy, over the top. He was awesome. I was in the hair and makeup trailer with him, and they had to shave my arms and like half my legs because I had these silly shorts on. I had like Italian hairy legs, and he's not Italian. So he's like, Chris, thank you for coming. I appreciate it, because he sees me doing like, and they got this whole thing. Girls are doing this whole thing with me, trying to make me look Asian, and he was very apologetic. He was awesome. And even on set.
I heard he's a great guy, actually.
Yeah, great guy on set.
He's a comedian, but he's a comedian. You know what? Comedians,
Well,
I think he's a comedian.
He's off the cuff. So, and I got to watch him. Like, it was so cool watching him work where, sure, he got the script, but they don't, he just does his own thing. Every take was different. He ad-libbed. He was just, it was cool to watch those kind of actors do their thing. And I'm usually that's the story, is finding a lot of cool people to be with and in the movies. Then you have some assholes as well, but I mean, it's one of those things where the stunt guy sits back, waits his turn. And then when you're called in, you kind of just have to go from A to B, do the job. And then you go back and you wait for the next stunt or the next gag or whatever to do. And you fill in. But no, it's very awesome to be around the movie sets and to be around even, the crew in general. There's just huge numbers when you film a movie or a TV show. Everyone get together and have the same goal at hand. And the actors are they're the A-list, they're the ones that are the stars and everything. So I never wanted to be in front of the camera. I just kind of wanted to put myself at risk, sad to say,
No adrenochrome stories. So we're not getting any adrenochrome stories.
Hey, did Harvey Weinstein touch you?
No, unfortunately not. Because if he did, I would have.
Yeah, if he did, his name would be Brad Pitt.
I wish. Please, is it too late? Can he touch me now? Fuck. I'll find him. Like millions.
I'll be driving Lamborghinis on 2 wheels.
I think. Yeah.
So true.
No, he'll drive a Tesla on 2 wheels. He'll be like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, what do you think about those things? What do you think about Teslas?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't honestly. They're not my kind of thing. I'm like American-made muscle car type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Teslas are. It's a breed that just people kind of have a niche to. It's one of those things where.
What about jumping one?
Yeah, that's what I would love.
I think they're fine for that. Sure. They're not.
You think so?
Apart.
The batteries? What
They're
about the
proven.
batteries?
I'm not scared of them. Like they'd be great, but I just wouldn't.
Oh, I would love to. Let's get that. Let's get a GoFundMe. Let's get Chris a fucking Tesla.
Let's just
jump
start.
that motherfucker.
Let's get.
It's funny. It could be a world record because how far has a Tesla jumped?
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
dude.
We need to hit up Elon Musk.
I'll jump it farther. So
we just fucking hit it. He will fucking take that thing to fucking outer space. If there's such thing.
Set the ramp straight up and just fly right into outer space.
And you know what? Let it be a pay-per-view. People can sit at home and just watch it through their TV because no one's getting together anymore. So just fucking, you know what? Put it online. That's what it was back in the day. I used to watch Robbie Knievel jump. I sat at home, right? That was like one of the first pay-per-view before MMA.
Yeah.
Like it was a bunch of daredevils doing anything or a concert.
You're right, man.
And you wouldn't pay an exorbitant amount. It would just be a matter of you getting it with your family and having popcorn and watching a show. So we can have just a daredevil comedy show. Just, do like a big stunt and then a couple of different rounds.
Let's do a Tesla. Let's do a fucking Tesla show.
Man.
Let's get a fucking bang. Fucking hit that fucker.
Find out what they're worth.
Those things
they
are
are worth a
so
lot.
fast off the line too. They are
That's
so
I heard.
fast.
I heard you don't want to fuck them up either. Like I know a couple people that have them, and they said, "Oh, you just don't ever want." Like, that's why I was actually in the market for the cheap one when I went to go get my car, and people were like, anybody that had one said because I just destroy cars, Chris. I'm the guy that get the car the first day. It has temp plates on it, and I'll fucking close to total it almost every time. People are like, you do not get that car. Why? Because you can break a fucking light. There's no mechanic that's fixing that fucker.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Even what's the cheap one? What does that start of? I don't really know. Like
it was like 30 grand.
It's a little
like
over 30. Yeah.
It was like 30 grand, and it drives for like a half an hour.
I hear you. You'll get looked at like girls like that, right?
Nah, but I don't need. I got a Subaru Outback. That's how much I care about girls.
He's a lesbian. He loves them. You got a Subaru Outback. You're a lesbian, so you love girls.
Yeah, you're right. If I had that handlebar mustache, it's all reverse psychology.
You do have some bushy eyebrows. You do look like
you thickened them up. He used to have them thinner.
Half off as a lesbian for sure.
He used to have them thinner, but that came back in, so he grew them out.
Yeah, grew them out. No, you guys want to be. I'm always an open book. I'm always an open book. When I heard about the coronavirus, what was it, in January? When did we hear about it? Like January, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Week before yesterday.
No, it was like January. So I always go to these Indian ladies, right? And they fucking put the thread in their mouth and they wax it across your eyebrows. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, these people are from Asia. They got shit in their mouth. I was like, I don't think it's a good idea to do this anymore. So I stopped.
Oh, wait, anymore?
So I stopped going. Because I thought about it. I started thinking about hygiene.
You started thinking about it? Like the first time you went there?
No, I've been going for years.
They started using like dental floss and fucking whacking it against your face.
You're like, it never bothered me.
I have no issue with this. But
never bothered
me. There's coronavirus, I probably shouldn't let them, floss and then fucking
I had no
my
problem.
giant, greaseball eyebrows.
Never had a problem with it until coronavirus came.
Nice.
Do you think that they imported your eyebrow threaders right from China, dude? Like, where the fuck are you going? What kind of spot are you?
They're from India.
What kind of underground eyebrow threading place?
They don't even they speak Cantonese in there. You gotta fucking.
Did you guys see what they're doing in India?
No,
the police are doing. Did you
curry?
Guys,
Does it have something to do with curry?
You gotta pull it up. My wife thought I was lying. My wife thought I was lying.
With caning people, that thing.
Yeah, so they get this little fucking literally looks like this. Like their cane looks like this, right? It looks like this, and they whack each other. If you're not inside, they hit you with like a stick that breaks. It breaks, right?
Dude, Nick.
And then if that doesn't get you inside, they start telling you to do jumping jacks or sit-ups. I'm like, come on, man, this is something I would do. Like, are you kidding me? They're like, you do sit-ups, you do jumping jacks, and you see old ladies and grandmas, and they're like almost like kind of laughing. Like, are you being serious right now? And they're being dead serious, the fucking police, and they're hitting them with these little breakaway canes, and they're making them do calisthenics.
I don't know. I saw some shit where they were hitting people with like fucking batons.
Well, it might have got up to that, but in the early days of the coronavirus, they were just hitting them with a little stick and making them do calisthenics.
Oh,
it was
no,
hilarious.
man. They are fucking like absolutely like destroying people with like canes and shit. Like, get the fuck in the house. It's like, wow.
But it's like, watch it.
Well, that's great. I gotta get beer.
Yeah, I need to get a beer too.
Yeah, play the calisthenics while we all get beers.
This isn't calisthenics.
Awful.
This is my co-host on the Dirt Bike podcast made this meme. Loretta's is like a big amateur race, and dads spend like all their money to get the kids there. So.
I think we're all getting beer, so we'll be right back.
Oh my.
No, this is the violent one, man.
Dude, what the?
Wait, you got to get the ones where they do calisthenics. You gotta look up forced calisthenics.
On what?
YouTube. I mean, I gotta learn how to use this shit.
Yeah.
But if you look up forced calisthenics in India, they got grandmas. They're hanging out and they're making them do squats and shit. It's like, come on. But I'll tell you what, man. I think this is what if we got something out of this podcast, it's that we're gonna figure out a way to get Chris to jump a fucking Tesla.
I love it. I'll look into it starting tonight. Yep. I'll follow up in 6 months, see where we go with it. Write him a letter. We'll blow it up online, and it's worth it. You know, again, we can just have people kind of contribute and buy our own. We don't need one from them, and then we might give them a bad name if they don't give us one.
True. But it's something we could do. And then you were saying something interesting before we started talking about the Indians with the calisthenics. You were saying about how pay-per-views were cheap. You were talking about Carnival days.
Absolutely. It wasn't about. You're right, because it's tough for bars to get them. A lot of bars don't have MMA anymore around me, at least in Orange County, New York.
Yeah.
You got to make money. It's about the numbers, right? And they charge you per how much you can have in your bar. Yeah. So anyway, back in the day, it was a family. It was like renting a movie, right?
What, like $10 or something?
Yeah, absolutely. I used to get it. I had no money. It was like high school days. And it was a cool thing. You're like, dude, there's this new channel. You could rent these live shows.
And how long was an event for Robbie Knievel?
Like 3 hours.
See, that's amazing.
The follow-up, they do interviews. It was a jump-off. He did it with Eddie Kidd, I think, from Australia. It was a couple different type of shows that I remember looking up to these daredevils, and they would be like, it was like a feat, you know, even like a high wire tightrope act that they do now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sponsors that. It's on a main network. I mean, they're making money, you know, for what it's worth. But the pay-per-view thing, if it sparks interest and it's, you know, for the kids to watch, to do something different, and then it's kind of like out of, you know, oh, something dangerous can happen. But it's like going to
that's always the interest, right? You always you're watching because that's just human nature. You know, I'm not rooting for the guy to ever get hurt, but that's human nature. You're looking because you're, you know, that's what it is. And but you know what's amazing about the time we live in, guys? Like we can actually we can call it pay-per-view. Nobody's watching TV. Everyone's on the internet right now. So for a fair price, we could honestly put something like, and guys, I'm not doing cocaine. This isn't some weird cocaine idea. We could literally put an event like this together.
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. But you know, you get a lot of ideas. You get business ideas. Normally, you're coked out. I'm not coked out. But you could literally on the internet for $10, $20.
You normally get shitness ideas when you're doing coke.
All right, this is what we're gonna see. This. You can get fucking.
I can't. Hold on.
You do your own pay-per-view. You don't need, but it was great that they used to put it on TV, but most people aren't even watching TV anymore.
Like the Chive Network. Chive Network does so well. Those are a bunch of videos they never filmed. People are sending them in of silly shit.
Yeah, right.
Chive has, now you go to the local bar, Chive TV. Oh, God, who's getting...
Oh, yeah, dude. This is what I'm talking about.
You got to put the calisthenics. This is where it got too crazy, man.
Are you fucking
They
kidding?
do
Dude,
calisthenics
what
in
are
there.
fucking doing to people?
No, we got to see when it was
watched
fun.
it.
See, now it's getting too serious.
No.
What are they...
It was fun a couple weeks ago. Yeah, here we go. Watch. Come on. Look at this. He's telling him to do squats.
What is that? What move is that?
Look. Do push-ups, motherfucker. Come on, bro. Come on.
Yo, India's going to be fit as fuck.
They're already fit as
Yo,
fuck.
this is a horrible idea.
Like, what? Is this motherfucker telling me to do push-ups right now?
This is a horrible idea. What are you going to do? Get all the degenerates in like like super athlete shape? You know what I mean?
No.
The other thing is you're making them fucking huff and puff on you. Like, what are you doing? This grandma, they got the grandma doing squats. She starts laughing.
Oh,
is this to
nuts.
this is
one.
to see if they have?
He starts fucking chat, bro. Like,
This
bro,
is
get this
to
fucking
this is
look,
to
look,
see
look,
if they
stop
have
it.
corona.
Stop,
What is
stop.
going on?
Holy Christ.
India's poor, pushed to live in trees. What? All right, took a sad
Yeah,
turn.
crazy, huh?
Shit.
Hey, and we had to, and you had to wear fucking gloves at Walmart. We're upset.
I know, right?
Seriously. How do you wait? Just look at that video. How the fuck? What's social distancing there? It's like don't be within 6 inches of people.
Or you gotta do squats, bitch.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking cane you while you do squats.
Yo,
God. Well,
China was crazy with that shit. I actually had to turn around and like scare some Chinamen back so that they wouldn't press against my back trying to get out of the
Chinaman?
fucking Chinaman. Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to say
Whoa!
that.
That's
I
not
think
the
they have-
Chinese
that's not the
man?
proper that's not the
Dude.
proper
No,
nomenclature.
oh,
Did you just say
no.
Chinaman?
He was a Chinaman.
Was this in China?
He was a min from China. Yeah.
Were you in China before?
Yeah. Twice.
Were you really?
Yeah. That's why I was
Like-
asking Chris if he was there, telling him that it was fucking crazy.
Whoa,
Nobody
whoa,
has
whoa, whoa,
any
hold up.
social
You were in China
distancing.
2 times.
Yes.
Did they tell you before you got there, like, you don't talk about our government?
No.
You don't say it looks like Winnie the Pooh?
No. You have to. You do have to sign up on like what is it? A VPN, like
Yeah.
a virtual personal network or whatever, and, in order to get on Facebook and shit like that. If you're on their regular Wi-Fi, like in the hotel, you can't get Facebook, Instagram. You can't get
How
any
long
of
ago
that
did you
shit.
go?
2010 or something.
Were the pornos, did they have the little blocks over their faces?
We didn't watch pornos there, but you
Oh.
could go to KTV, which is karaoke, like establishments. You go in there.
And that's nothing but porno.
No, it's prostitutes. So you go into the place. It's cheap. You go in, you get your own little room. The room costs almost nothing. Alcohol costs you what you would cost you at the liquor store. It was like $40 for a bottle. And then you get your own room and you sing karaoke in your room. And then one of the guys that was there, the Chinaman that was there with us.
I was just gonna ask you about the Chinaman, and you did it yourself, motherfucker. I was just gonna ask you if the
He
Chinaman
goes-
charged you.
we
and you
had
just
one
said it
guy-
yourself.
We had one guy that was basically like just driving us around and whatever, and it was like I'm not sure, it was like the promoter's friend.
Was he driving you around in a rickshaw?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
We called him the rapist because he just was like
His driving you around in a rickshaw, but only on one of the 3 wheels like this.
See the video, it's kind of cool.
dude. So yeah.
Wheeling on a tripod.
Yeah, so the rapist kept getting girls in there, and then he would grab them and shit, and we're like, "Hey, you can't do that." And
He's like, yes, I can.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hence the name, no? Like,
Well, we named him that there. It's not like
After
that.
you realize you were involved in human trafficking, Clint, we should cut this off.
I don't think he
Yeah.
trafficked anybody.
I didn't realize. I didn't know how to.
He was trafficking
I didn't know how
us
people went to
around?
Clint.
He was trafficking us around. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I got
Hey,
trafficked.
memories of China. You made someone money.
That's right. I was in, dude, we were in such a small, like, and I say it was a small city of like 20,000, no, like 20,000 people showed up to the motocross race. And we jumped. Yeah, exactly. It was in this city with like, I don't know, 100,000 people, but like out in the middle of nowhere. We drove 8 hours from Shanghai through the mountains to get there. I must have been the only white person that had been there in I don't know how long, because like people would just pop. Like, well, I went there the one time I was there. The other rider was also American, and so we'd go to like the supermarket, and all the employees of the supermarket would end up in the aisle like taking pictures of us and stuff. So we started.
Oh, white bald dude.
Yeah.
Did you eat bat soup?
I don't think so. I could have. They have.
You should have told him you were Vin Diesel.
So then I pulled my phone out. We pulled our phones out to take pictures of them, and they all scattered. And then another time the other guy was from Chile, so he was at least, tan. So I was walking down the road, and this little old woman stops, and she stares at me as I go by, And I would like just thought that was funny, so I turned around to look. She had made a full 180 and was standing there just staring at me with her mouth open as I walked away. I was like, this little old lady has not seen a white man in like maybe
No,
her
ever.
life.
I had a friend who was a basketball player, a black kid that was a basketball player that went and played over there. And he said he was literally, he's like, dude, I was Shaquille O'Neal. He's like, everywhere I went, they wanted my autograph. They want to take pictures with me. He said he was so much bigger than he's like, and he's not even that big. He's maybe 6'3", which is big, you know.
Dude, I was bigger than most people.
Yeah. And he said he was like way bigger than everyone.
I'm sure. If they were my size, I still outweighed them by 40 pounds. Like if they were my height. But
That's crazy.
I literally so when I went to buy the ticket for the ferry you have old Shanghai and new Shanghai. So we were taking the ferry and the river separates them. So I was taking the ferry over, and I go to the place to buy tickets, and all I had was American money. So he's like, hey, you know, like blah blah blah, and I'm like, all I got's American. I go, do you take American? And he just goes, no, ha 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 ha. And I was like, I
Like
thought for
Boston,
sure
like the final boss in Kung
I
Fu.
thought for sure I was about to fucking get in a kung fu fight, so I started looking around. There was nobody, and I'm like, okay, he just doesn't want my money. But I thought for sure for a second I was about to get roundhouse kicked to the face.
Would have been even better if it was overdubbed. He's like, no.
Mouth keeps moving and shit.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we just did our time. Chris, it was really so nice to have you on, man. I hope to have you back.
Thanks, guys.
Can we tell all of our mothers, because it's about probably the only people that are watching, where they can find you? And
I would say, well, basically, it's going to be mostunts.com, MOSTUNTS, mostunts.com, and I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere. Chris Morena, last name Morena, on Facebook and Instagram. I do all the business stuff there, my car crashes and where I'm going to be. So, yeah, it's along the way. I mean, again, you guys are in Jersey. I'm in New York. I perform a lot in the Northeast. But it's great to be a part of this. Thank you for having me on episode 3. I wish you guys very luck.
Chris, listen, man. We have a studio that we're literally this close to having finished. So normally we're gonna be in the studio. We got the comedy club, we have the bar, we have the restaurant. You're not that far away. We'd like to have you anytime. You always be a guest in the dojo of Comedy East.
Appreciate
it. And it was great talking to you, man. We hope you're gonna be a part of the show as we grow.
Live broadcasting on some of the shows coming up this summer. You get out and be on
absolutely
right there and commentate. So
we'd love to,
guys. Very nice meeting you.
We would love to.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Night,
Appreciate
man.
your time, brother.
Yeah.
All right,
See you,
we're
brother.
signing off.
Take care,
Later.
man.